Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast for today, Thursday, November 19th, 2015. I'm Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. The Consulate General of St. Kitts and Nevis marked its reopening in the Middle East on Saturday night with a private invitation-only event in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Chairing the ceremony, Acting Consul General Elsa Wilkin Armbruster officially announced the reopening of the consulate to service the needs of St. Kitts and Nevis citizens throughout the Middle East. Also present at the reopening was Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Mark Brantley. He addressed the audience on the importance of evolving reciprocal business relationships between St. Kitts and Nevis citizens and governments in the Middle East. He urged citizens to consider investment opportunities in their country of naturalization, highlighting tourism, healthcare, education, and infrastructure. The event was co-sponsored by Savory and Partners, a British-owned and managed citizenship and residency by investment immigration company headquartered in Dubai. Members of the Savory and Partners Dubai office brought with them clients and citizens. Managing partner Jeremy Savory said the return of a consular presence in the Middle East for the St. Kitts and Nevis government can only be positive news for his clients and all Kittitians in the Middle East. With similar CBI and RBI programs launching in recent years, the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment program remains the oldest of its kind in the world. He said the news will significantly strengthen the desirability of the program for applicants and naturalized citizens alike. The St. Kitts and Nevis Consulate will facilitate all renewals and reissuances of passports, visa applications, and other consular services. Minister of Housing and Lands, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, today gave an update on a project which is underway in the vicinity of the Cohoons Housing Development. The project, according to Minister Jeffers, is an effort to provide access to lands in the area to facilitate further development.
We are standing on some lands that belong to the Nevis Island administration, through the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, which were acquired about 4 years ago. And we have had some construction done in the area where you see those lovely houses. But this was just about 9 acres of lands that were acquired about 4 years ago. And there are just about 4 acres that have been constructed on so far. And there is another 1.9 acres just to the north of us here, which we didn't have access to because of the size of this gut.
According to Minister Jeffers, as a result, the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, NHLDC, has embarked on the construction of a bridge to make the plots more easily accessible to the owners.
We've already sold those lands, and of course when you sell lands on Nevis, whether it's the government or private individuals, you have to provide infrastructure. Now, it was going to be a insurmountable task for the NHLDC to take on this project by itself. But in this world today, we have so many ways that things can be done. We all hear of private-public partnership these days, and we decided to figure out how we can get that work with other landowners in the area. And of course, what happened recently is that a private developer would have had approvals for a major development just about a quarter mile up from where we stand right now. So, with some discussions, we were able to come up with a plan so as to make this work. This bridge is costing us quite a bit of money. The exact amount I cannot quote at this time, but I know for sure it is something that would have been beyond the corporation's reach.
Minister Jeffers, who is also the chair of the NHLDC, says through the corporation's provision of resources, including equipment and aggregates, coupled with contributions from the project developer and other landowners, the construction of the bridge was made possible.
It's going to be a bridge that it will be a double culvert bridge that would take the water that we know normally flow through this gut. This is a major gut that if persons from the area know the area well, they know that this gut leads all the way down to Fort Ashby area, and we know the amount of water that normally cross the road down there in Fort Ashby. So we have to get it right. It was designed by officials at the Public Works, and we have contracted Mr. Calvert Herbert, who is a contractor from right here in Cotton Ground. He has produced some very good work, and we are confident that he would provide us with a sturdy bridge here in Cohoon.
The NIA senior minister used the opportunity to emphasize the importance of such public-private partnerships.
The government itself may not have the resources to complete a particular project, but once you can partner with private individuals, it can certainly work. In that it takes some of the risk and some of the cost that is involved off of the government, and also it is spread among all of the other persons who decide to partner with us, and that is what is happening here. So I must say thank you to at least the developer in question, Mr. Leighton Thomas, for understanding the importance of having this bridge built for his benefit and also for the benefit of those persons from Cotton Ground and Bansgut who would have purchased lands just over the gut here. They would now have access, and he would also have access in terms of having his project done and realizing the benefits of his project in terms of having the sales that are required to make sure he has some meaningful returns from his investment. We are hoping to have a concrete road from the main road here, the main thoroughfare that goes to Bansgut, and we're going to take that concrete road just around this bend here, and then the rest would be up to them in terms of getting the final access to their properties.
Minister Jeffers says despite the setbacks due to frequent rainfall, he is pleased with the project so far and will provide another update within a few weeks. Ambassador and permanent representative to the Organization of American States OAS, Dr. Everson Hull, has indicated that he aspires to achieve much during his tenure. Ambassador Hull notes that OAS Secretary General, His Excellency Louis Almagro, recognizing his wealth of experience in a number of areas, including increasing productivity, sees that he can lend assistance to the OAS. Ambassador Hull says, in fact, his depth of experience in economics is one of the reasons the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, offered him the position. He notes that the new Secretary General has issued a directive for reorganizing the OAS to achieve additional gains in productivity, and says he will seize every opportunity which presents itself to address these issues with several of his peers, including the Mexican ambassador, who has embraced the issue along with several of his CARICOM peers. According to Ambassador Hull, he has done a presentation on the OAS Staff Association, laying out some of the ideas and commenting on how they can be applied to a public sector setting. He says there is a need to recognize the worth or contribution of each individual and afford them commendatory awards, noting that this will raise the overall productivity of the organization to achieve the goals that have been established. The ambassador adds that he would also provide great assistance to the OAS through his knowledge of Washington, having worked at the Congressional Research Service and in a number of key positions, including serving as a presidential appointee. Still to come.
Man up. Man up. Take a stand. Lead by example.
The details after this break.
Hey, you know it's your groovy soca monarch king, your boy Speedy, and I'm here with the Inland Revenue Department, and I love my side dish. And guess what? I also love Nevis too. And as a responsible taxpayer, your tax dollars help to build our nation. So I'm here to tell you, pay your taxes on time and be a responsible citizen. And don't get me wrong, it's a serious song. I pay my taxes. Boom!
Welcome back. Judging from the reactions by the competitors in this year's Nevis Triathlon, the tiny island may just be the most beautiful triathlon venue in the world, so notes one travel writer in his feature for Community's Digital News on the November 14th, 2015 event. The piece is titled Nevis Sprint Distance Triathlon, 500-meter swim, 31-kilometer bike, 5-kilometer run. Communications Officer Sheila James tells us more in the Ministry of Tourism's news in 60 seconds.
The tiny Caribbean island of Nevis may just be the most beautiful triathlon venue in the world. This is according to Bob Taylor, who had been travelling the world for more than 30 years as a writer, an award-winning television producer focusing on international events, people, cultures around the globe. He spoke of his experience of attending the event and observed the enthusiasm of all the competitors in this year's Nevis Triathlon, with swimmers, runners, cyclists from seemingly every corner of the world. The Nevis event may have earned itself an international reputation for everyone who dared take up the challenge of the triathlon. More than a dozen countries were represented. Taylor was seemingly impressed upon the youngest competitor, 6-year-old Vlad, who travelled from Romania with his family. Taylor was also keen to mention the oldest competitor, Dr. Avery, at the age of 81, who has taken part in all 14 of the Nevis triathlons. He stated that Avery was clearly the crowd favourite, given that he is a beloved islander himself.
Saturday's event was the 14th Nevis Triathlon organised by the St. Kitts and Nevis Triathlon Federation. The run course is a 1 or 2 lap course, depending on the category, and winds through the centre of Charlestown before heading out into the countryside and environs of Bath Village, with varied terrain that includes road, dirt tracks, and a stretch along Gallows Bay. The long-distance bike course involves 2 laps around Nevis and a 5-kilometre hill climb. The swim course is in Gallows Bay in the heart of Charlestown, with a beach start-finish. The triangular course is 750 metres, offering a 1-lap swim for the sprint distance athletes and 2 laps for the Maca X long-distance course. The winner of the 14th Nevis Triathlon was Jason Costello of Trinidad and Tobago. He completed the events in 3 hours and 13 minutes. The second placer and first female triathlete to complete the events was Jane Handsome. The Gender Affairs Division in the Department of Social Services is hosting a number of activities to commemorate International Men's Day, which is being celebrated today, Thursday, November 19th, 2015. This evening, the division is hosting an event dubbed A Night to Remember at the Franklin Brown Community Center. On this week's edition of the Social Development Outlook, with host Curtis Morton, counselor at the Gender Affairs Division Wayne Maynard outlines the other activities.
On Saturday the 21st, we're going to have a health walk and breakfast. That's going to start at the Villa Grounds at 6 a.m. sharp, and our walks have been known to be very punctual, and so we want folks to come there at 6 a.m. at the Villa Grounds, and then we're going to walk going up by the cemetery, coming around the bypass road, and coming back in around, yes. We have a church service that will be at Charlotte Baptist Church this coming Sunday.
Time?
At 11:15 a.m. And we're inviting all men, anyone, to come and to worship there in that service. It will highlight and focus on the theme, and things will be surrounding what we're trying to do, and that service will be in commemoration of the International Men's Day this year. Later in the week, we will be having morning devotions hosted by different men in the community on Von Radio at 6 a.m. And there will be a different man each day next week.
Throughout November, the division, in collaboration with Von Radio, is also featuring the profiles of selected men in the division community, men who can be viewed as models based on their achievements. To culminate the celebration of International Men's Day, Maynard says the division will host a cookout on Saturday, November 28th at the Paradise Beach for men to showcase their cooking skills. The entire family is invited. The local theme for International Men's Day is Man Up, Take a Stand, Lead by Example. World Diabetes Day was celebrated on Saturday, November 14th, 2015, and the Ministry of Health here on Nevis hosted a public health fair as one of the activities to celebrate this day.
We have invited different units from public health to be a part of this fair, and importantly, we are also screening persons for diabetes, hypertension, obesity. And we are offering information on nutrition and healthy eating. So we also have with us agriculture, who are doing smoothies. So all of this, as I said before, is in commemoration of World Diabetes Day, and we thought it important to invite persons out to be screened and to know their numbers.
Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Judy Nisbet, speaking at the Public Health Fair held on Friday, November 13th at the Administration Building's parking lot. The health fair featured various booths from persons within the Ministry of Health promoting healthy lifestyles, as well as a booth by the Department of Agriculture's Agro-Processing Unit at Prospect. The unit's manager is Dwight Brown.
We are promoting our local smoothies, eating healthy, and is a part of us at the Agriculture Department, Agro-Processing Division. So today we did smoothie as usual. We had beet, mango, guava, honeydew, cantaloupe, watermelon, and banana. All 100% natural. To complement the smoothie, we had passion fruit, sorrel, and tamarind syrup, all again naturally made at the agro-processing plant.
The theme for World Diabetes Day was healthy eating as a key factor in the fight against diabetes. That's it for tonight's edition of the Nevis Newscast. Thank you for viewing. Good night.